In the previous module of this third week of our MOOC, we focused on critical editions of text for which no original manuscript by the author survives. This kept us in the field of copy-based philology. Now, however, we are turning our attention to authorial philology, a discipline that investigates text where traces of the author's own hand are still visible. Authorial philology is the branch of philology that studies variants introduced not through the process of transmission or copying, but intentionally by the author. It looks at the text as a living, evolving organism, investigating how authors rewrite, revise, rethink, and reshape their work, sometimes over a period of many years. Authorial philology seeks to reconstruct the genetic process of a work, that is, its internal history. It's both a philological and a critical endeavor. On one hand, it demands the technical precision of philological analysis. On the other hand, it calls for interpretative sensitivity to the author's poetics, style, and revision strategies. It takes us straight into the author's workshop, a space of depth, experimentation, and creativity. Authorial philology has only recently been recognized as an independent field. A key milestone came in 1987 with the publication of Dante Isella's book Le carte mescolate, esperienze di filologia d'autore. In this volume, Isella laid out the theoretical and methodological foundation of authorial philology. He defined its vocabulary and proposed a new editorial perspective, arguing that authorial variants should not be seen as accidental, but rather as meaningful evidence of an ongoing creative process. From a methodological point of view, the philologist has two main tasks. First, they must establish the critical text, that is, choose the version that will appear in the main body of the edition. Second, they must reconstruct and represent the revision process, documenting and visualizing the changes, whether they are orthographed or not. The goal is not simply to present a clean, readable text, but also to reveal its dynamic evolution, respecting the stages and the ideas that shaped it. Under this light, authorial philology serves a broader purpose. It gives us a look inside the author's workshop, helping us understand the author's choices, the tensions within their expression, and the reasoning behind their revisions. It even lets us glimpse their hesitations and doubts. It's an analytical reconstruction based on a coherent and rational reading of all the available materials, like manuscripts, letters, notes, early printed editions, and annotations. In the end, the aim is to retrace as closely as possible the mental and creative process that led the author to shape the final version of their work. Building on Isella's theorization, two major developments helped gain momentum. First, new technologies deeply transformed the reproduction of manuscripts, especially through high-resolution digitization. This makes authorial materials more accessible and legible and allow for interactive engagement with the documents. Second, there's been significant theoretical advances, particularly in Italy. This has led to editorial models that can clearly and precisely represent authorial variants while adapting to each author's unique working method. Authorial philology, therefore, emerges as a fundamental discipline that, by studying the variants intentionally introduced by the author in manuscripts or printed editions, reveals the text not as a static entity, but as a living organism in constant evolution, providing insight into the creative process and offering a deeper understanding of the author's intentions and poetics.